In typically Mendelian inheritance, genetic traits are inherited directly from the parents through the chromosomes during fertilization. However, delayed chromosomal inheritance refers to situation where the expression of certain genetic traits is not immediately apparent in offspring but become evident later in life. Sa normal na pamamana ayon sa teorya ni Mendel, ang mga katangiang genetics ay agad na ipapasa mula sa magulang patungo sa anak sa pamamagitan ng chromosome sa panahon ng fertilisasyon. Ibig sabihin, kapag nagtagpo ang egg cell ng nanay at sperm cell ng tatay, doon ipapasa ang mga katangian tulad ng kulay ng mata, taas o hugis ng ilong. Agad na makikitang epekto ng genes na ito habang lumalaki ang bata. The delay in expression can be due to various factors including environmental influence, epigenetic modification, or the presence of genetic mutation that only manifests at a later stage in development or response to the specific triggers. Ang pagkaantala at pagpapakita ng mga genes ay maaaring dahil sa pagsalik tulad ng kapaligiran, epigenetic change o mutation. Halimbawa, kung ang isang tao ay logic exposed sa polusyon o stress, pwedeng ma-activate ang genes. Ang epigenetics naman ay parang switch na nagpapabukas o nagpapasarado sa genes. Ang mutation naman ay nagpapabago sa genes na minsan lumalabas lang ang epekto pagkatapos ng maraming taon. Example of delayed chromosomal inheritance include certain genetic disease or condition that may not present symptoms until adulthood, such as Huntington's disease or certain types of cancer predisposition. Ilan sa mga halimbawa ng delay of chromosomal inheritance ay ang mga Huntington's disease at mga kondisyon na may kinalaman sa cancer or predisposition. Ang Huntington's disease ay isang sakit na karaniwang lumalabas sa edad na 30 pataas kahit na minana ito mula sa pagkabata. Ganon din ang ilang uri ng kanser. Maaring minana ang genes na may mataas na posibilidad ng pagkakaroon ng kanser pero hindi nararamdaman hanggat hindi ito na-trigger o lumipas ang maraming taon.
Cytoplasmic DNA. Both mitochondria and chloroplasts contain their own DNA. Separate from the cell nuclear DNA, this DNA contains genes essential for their function and maintenance. Mitochondria. These are responsible for energy production in eukaryote cell with a nucleus. Chloroplasts. These are found plant cells and are responsible for photosynthesis, converting light energy into chemical energy. In short, this highlights mitochondria and chloroplasts are not just cellular structure but also contain their own genetic material crucial for their respective role in cellular processes. Chloroplasts. These are organelles found in plant cells and some other organisms. Protists. Their main job is photosynthesis using sunlight and convert light energy into chemical energy, which the plant use as food. Inheritance. Chloroplasts have their own DNA. This DNA is inherited in the same way as a DNA in the cell's nucleus. Instead, it primarily comes from the mother. Maternal inheritance, meaning the offspring inherits chloroplast mostly from its mother egg cell. Mitochondria are organelles with cells that generate most of cell usable energy to cellular respiration. They're nicknamed the powerhouse of the cell. Importantly, mitochondria have their own DNA. Empty DNA, a small circular molecule distinct from the cell main DNA located in the nucleus. Empty DNA codes for genes essential to mitochondrial function because the egg cell contributes significantly more cytoplasm and those mitochondria to a fertilized egg than the sperm cell. Empty DNA is primarily inherited maternally from the mother.
Good day everyone, I'm Marjorie Jano and my topic is plasmids of extracircular origin and effective heredity episomes. Plasmids are small, circular DNA molecules that exist outside the chromosomes and can replicate independently. Some of these plasmids are called episomes. What makes episomes special is that they can do two things. Number 1, live independently like normal plasmids, not part of the host chromosomes. Number 2, integrate into the host chromosomes, becoming part of the cell's main DNA because of this ability to integrate into the host chromosome. Episomes are different from regular plasmids, which can only exist independently. In effective heredity, this term refers to the idea that the genetic materials can be passed from one organism to another through infection, like by a virus or bacterium. Episomes are important in this because they can carry genes that get inherited when passed into a new host through infection. So, what are episomes? Episomes are special types of DNA that can exist and replicate either independently outside the chromosomes or integrated into the host cell's chromosomes. There are two types of modes of inheritance. Number 1 is replicative mode. Episomes act like mini chromosomes. They stay separate from the host DNA as circular DNA. They use the host machinery to copy themselves. During cell division, they are passed to new cells on their own, not with the host DNA. Number 2, integrative mode. Episomes insert themselves into the host DNA. Once integrated, they become part of the host chromosomal DNA. They are passed to new cells along with it. This process happens through recombination, which is like swapping and matching DNA parts. Why is integration important? When episomes are part of the host DNA, they are more stable and can be inherited across many generations. They also means episomal genes are inherited just like regular host genes. Episomes and effective heredity. Some episomes, like those in viruses or bacteria, can carry genes from one organism to another. This is called infective heredity, passing genes via infections by viruses or bacteria. Impact on genetic diversity. Episomes help transfer genes between different organisms. This gene transfer adds to genetic diversity and helps organisms evolve. That's all.
My topic is criteria for extrachromosomal inheritance. First is reciprocal. Cross results differ when the thread is 6 length, meaning it's carried on 6 chromosomes, usually the X chromosome. If the results are the same, the trait is autosomal. Example, Cruise 1, red-eyed female X, white-eyed male. Cruise 2, white-eyed female X, red-eyed male. So, the result, if offspring ratios differ between the two crosses, the gene is X-linked, as with eye color in Drosophila. If the ratios are the same, the gene is autosomal. Next, the non-mutability. It occurs when two genes occur to assert independently even if they are on the same chromosome, due to being very apart or recombination occurring frequently between them. Example, genes E and B are the same chromosome but are so far apart that crossing over happens nearly every time meiosis occurs. The result, their inheritance pattern looks like they are on different chromosomes. They cannot be mapped accurately using combination frequency. The maternal inheritance, a classic is mitochondrial DNA inheritance in humans. Example, a mother with a mitochondrial disorder, liver's hereditary optic neuropathy, can pass it all her children, but only her daughters will pass it on the next generation. This happens because mitochondria and their DNA are inherited only from the egg, not the sperm. Then the non-segregation, it refers to the failure of chromosomes or chromatids to separate properly during meiosis. Example, in Down syndrome, trisomy 21, non-disjunction occurs when chromosomes 21 fails to separate during meiosis and pairing. As a result, the child inherits 3 copies of chromosomes 21 instead of the normal 2. Then the non-Mendelian segregation. One clear example is meiotic drive, where certain alleles are passed on the offspring more frequently than expected by Mendel's laws. Example, in the Drosophila, the segregation disorder allele is transmitted to over 90% of the offspring, instead of the expected 50%. This happens because the SD allele manipulates sperm development, so only sperm carrying in the SD allele are variable. Then the last is indifference tubercular substitution. Refers to situations where changing the nuclear genome, DNA from the nucleus, does not affect the trait, usually because the trait is controlled by cytoplasmic or organelle, mitochondrial, or chloroplast genes. Example, in some plants, cytoplasmic male sterility is controlled by mitochondrial DNA. If you substitute the nucleus from a fertile plant into a CMS cytoplasm, the plant still remains male sterile, showing indifference to nuclear substitutions.